Hello, Monster Hunters. It's Malix, and today I have another holiday special for everyone. This one is a Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, whatever you celebrate. We're going to be talking about the big red man himself, Santa Claus. So, in my homebrew campaigns, I actually have Santa Claus as a deity. So let's break it down and talk about what kind of deity he is. So, first thing, although I don't require my players to have alignments, my deities and outsiders absolutely do, because they have their souls and their bodies as one entity. So, Santa Claus is a lawful good deity. Um, for me, obviously, he's good. He's taking care. He's giving gifts. He's giving charity. That's about as altruistic as it comes. Even the naughty kids who don't deserve presents, he gives them coal, basically something to heat their house with so that they don't freeze on Christmas and during the winter months. Now, lawful is a little bit harder. People often argue about what lawful is. For me, it's all about order and going by the books. So, when you take a look at it and you see, like, okay, good kids get this, bad kids get this, it's very formulaic, it's very orderly, and that's going to be lawful. It's rewarding the good, punishing the bad, even though his punishments aren't real punishments, they're just not great gifts. Alright, so he's a lawful good deity. The domains that he's going to have is artifice, because he is a toy maker, along with his elves. He's very industrious. Water / ice. So I'm doing this for Pathfinder, and in the advanced player's guide, they go into more detail about the different domains, and ice is a subdomain of water. So, because he lives in the North Pole, ice is very much a part of who he is. Law, again, he's super orderly. He's literally rewarding the good and punishing the wicked. That's about as orderly as it gets. Lawful neutral is very much about that. Did you break the law? Yes, no, and this is what happens. He's good, he's charitable, so good is also one of his domains. I also chose knowledge, divination. I don't think divination is actually a real subdomain, but because he always knows who's naughty and who's nice, I definitely want to include that as part of his domains. Knowledge is one of those ways for him to know this information that's seemingly unknowable. And then lastly, was a little bit of an odd one, but I thought it would be pretty good. So I chose darkness / night as the subdomain, because he always travels at night. Like, his main thing is he's not supposed to be seen. He rewards those without being seen. And so, yeah, I want to include that, because it is kind of a big part of him. He travels the whole world in one night. Really, it's still 24 hours because of how the Earth turns, but maybe your plane has a different day-night cycle. So let's include that. So artifice, ice, law, good, knowledge / divination, and night are the domains. He gets 6 domains because he is a more powerful deity. And again, I love making references to real world stuff in my D&D campaigns, and this is one of those things. All right, so he has various ideals that the clerics of Santa Claus should follow. First one is rewards. You want to reward altruistic behavior, reward good behavior. I didn't really want to put punishment, because he doesn't really punish. He instead wants to focus on reform. All right, so he lets people know that they're being wicked and evil by giving them coal, but that's not a punishment. That's just like, hey, you need to stop doing this. Here, have this thing to heat your house. So you could even say, Santa Claus, like, all right, I'm not gonna help you, but I'll give you food. I'm not going to give you what you want, but I'll give you food because you deserve to live. So again, Santa Claus, the ideal form of lawful good in my eyes. Charity is another one of his ideals. So clerics of Santa Claus should be very charitable. I included travel because he is supposed to be able to move so far around the world. So clerics and paladins of Santa Claus, they're going to want to be moving around and expanding the reach of who they can help. Kindness, always be kind, very obvious. And then industrious as the last kind of points. You want to be able to work hard, and focus on goals to improve the life of others. So, once again, the ideals: reward, charity, reform, travel, and industry, and kindness. All right, so those are ways to gain favor with Santa Claus. To lose favor with Santa Claus, obviously you're going to do the opposite of those. At the top of this list is stealing. You do not want to take things away from people, even if they're bad. You want to reform, you want to help and give things to help that reform. So stealing is kind of like the antithesis of what Santa Claus is about. He's about giving, and taking away is not what he's about. Cruelty, that's the antithesis of what he's about. If you express cruelty, you torture, inflict harm and suffering upon someone else. That is not what Santa Claus is about. If you're lazy, if you're not working, if you're not working towards goals or helping something, that is kind of against his ideals as well. That's going to lose his favor. And this isn't like taking a day off. It's more like consistently not trying to improve yourself or improve others' life. It's kind of like just sitting and thinking everything's going to be okay. No, Santa Claus spends the whole year preparing to get toys to everyone, listening, watching, making plans to make this one night go perfectly. So even when you're not doing something, you should be helping to make the situation the best it can be. And again, along with that, if you're just staying in one place, you're not really doing what Santa Claus wants. He wants you to travel. He wants to help as many people as possible. Help the whole world if possible. All right. So we've talked about what can gain you piety with Santa Claus and what can lose you piety. And now I want to talk about like the piety mechanics. So I actually stole this from 5th edition, the Book of Theros, Theros Mythical Adventures. That source book, it's very good. I recommend picking it up for whatever campaign style you're doing, because there's a lot of great stuff about making gods more real and more effective in the world. And there's this one mechanic called the piety mechanic. And basically, as you do things that serves your god, you gain more piety. And when you reach a certain threshold of piety, you get special abilities. So let's go over that. So the first level is called the devotee. You're devoting yourself to this deity, devoting yourself to Santa Claus, which usually represents like 3 piety is the example in the book. So you've done like 3 acts that have shown devotion to Santa Claus. When you do that, you gain the spell-like ability, Mending, usable equal to the number of equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1. So you can cast Mending to fix objects for other people. So like the idea is you go around fixing. If someone has a broken broom, you fix the broom for them. You try to make people's lives easier by offering the ability to magically fix things for people. Next, the votary. This one, it It could be switched with disciple, honestly, but it depends on how you think important it is. So after you have gotten 10 piety with Santa Claus, you gain endure elements against cold climates. Um, so basically, you can interact normally in the average cold climates because Santa Claus is a deity of ice. So it would make sense that the people who kind of devote themselves aren't going to be affected by snow as much. Once you get to Disciple, which is the penultimate level, you get to be able to cast Scrying once per day. Scrying is a pretty powerful ability. You don't need any focus for this. Well, you would need a focus, but do it as the Druid spell. So, like, just like a pool of water is good enough. There's no monetary cost to it. You just need something to look into. Any mirror will work. Crystal ball will work. A pool of water will work. Anything that could be somewhat reflective. So you can scry once per day as the spell. And then lastly, once you're a champion of Santa Claus, you can choose to add 2 to your wisdom or 2 to your con score as a sacred bonus. And if you ever drop below this threshold of piety, you would lose those bonuses. All right? So you get mending at the first level. You get endure elements against cold, the second level. You gain scrying once per day at the third level. And you get +2 wisdom or +2 con as a sacred bonus at the ultimate level. Alright? So, I hope you enjoyed this Santa Claus deity for you guys. I hope you add it to your campaign. Tell me how it goes. Tell me if your players like it. And I hope that you have a wonderful holidays, and yeah, keep rolling. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.